What is up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. I just wanted to update a little bit on this Traxxas TRX4-M video. This morning I posted up a video. There wasn't much information on it. Since then, they've released everything on their website. You can go check it out. I'll post up some pictures and specs and stuff on here in this video as well. But we do have all of the specs as far as measurements and stuff, and everybody's trying to look at the videos and see how big this thing is compared to an SCX24 or the FCX24. And I got to looking and checking some measurements, and basically the Bronco is measuring exactly what this FMS right here measures. So the overall height of the Bronco is 117 millimeters. So if you look at this, not including the rack there, this thing is basically right at that. It's 115 or something. So almost the exact same height as this rig. The wheelbase is 155 from center to center. Now this thing, let's go, let's do 140 here. So 140 to about the edge of the tread here. And then we got another almost 20. So this is like almost around 160. So it's actually 5 millimeters longer on the wheelbase. Very, very close, honestly, to the Bronco. We're talking, 5 millimeters difference. It's not much like that, okay? So almost the exact same length. And then the width of the Bronco is 124. Actually, the Defender and the Bronco is 124. So you're going to see that is the main difference, is it sits a little wider right here. So you can see it's a little wider than this rig, but it's honestly basically exactly what I've built this FCX24 to be on width. Now this doesn't really have anything but different wheels and tires on it, fatter, wider tires, and it's basically sitting at the 124. So it's the exact same width. The length of this FCX right here, stretched out, is actually longer than what this Traxxas 118 is going to be. Quite a bit longer. So next to, and then as far as the overall height goes, the Defender is like 135. So it's going to be a little taller, probably closer to the top of this rack, honestly, for overall height. So it's really, really close to this. Honestly, this is the closest thing that I could find as far as being right on the specs, other than it's actually going to be a little bit wider. So I wanted to show you guys kind of these in hand, and you can see the difference we're going to be looking at. Now, I'm not really counting this tire on the back. Not counting it, the new Traxxas is basically the same length overall, bumper to bumper, by their measurement on the Bronco. Now the Defender is, I think it was like 16 or 17 millimeters longer than that. So it's basically the length of this back tire to the bumper, okay? So the Defender is a little bigger overall, tiny bit longer, tiny bit taller. Same wheelbase, same width. So pretty close to this. Like I said, this is the stock deadbolt, you can see. So this is what you're going to be looking at as far as size difference right there. Quite a bit of difference in the size between a stock rig, right? Now the turning angle is going to be great on this, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But if you compare this next to like an FCX, this is the stock length FCX, a little bit wider because of the widened wheels I put on here. Right there it is. You can see basically the same height. This actually sits a little bit higher than this 18th scale here, but the length is where it gets it. So, that extra length is really where this thing's going to be larger. The wheels, look, this FCX is super wide with these hard part wheels on it. But let's compare like to the Gladiator. It is basically the exact same wheelbase as the Gladiator. The Bronco TRX4-M is 155, like I said. And this, if you look at it, we are right around 150, I think. Yeah, 152 or something center to center. So almost the exact same length as this. Now it is wider. The 124 compared to this is a little wider, right about there. So you can see it's a little wider than the Gladiator. And this is not really, it has some wideners on it, the little hex wideners basically, but about what I normally run one of these things at. So same length, a little bit wider, a little bit taller, I'm sure. So it's not going to be huge. It's really kind of what I'm trying to get at. I'm going to run this on my course soon. I'm working on a new indoor course. I'll show you guys a little bit of it. And I want to run this around it just to kind of see how it does. I feel like the Traxxas is going to have a little better turning. They say it's much better. I don't know if they actually calculated in FMS's 18 scales, because this does have a pretty good turning radius. I'd have to check the angle on this. I'm not 100% sure, but you can see this has CVDs in it, and it's got a good turn to it. So I don't see them being the 30% better than this, honestly. They say 30% better turning radius than any other 18 scale. We'll see if that's true when I get it, because we'll compare it to this thing for sure. But overall, I just wanted to show you guys it's not going to be super huge compared to the SCX24 Bronco. You can see them here. I mean, it is going to be big. Obviously, it's an 18 scale. It's going to be bigger than a 24. But overall, that's not a huge difference. You know, it's not massive, in my opinion. You know, if you pulled the bumper off of this, the bumper on the Bronco is pretty tight anyways, the TRX. But the Defender bumper is what makes it quite a bit longer. It looks like it takes up a little more room, kind of like this one. So, you know, we are going to be bigger, but it's not huge. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this FMS right here, the K10, is also 18 scale. But if you ask me, that thing is pretty freaking big. Like, the overall body length is crazy compared to this thing. The width is probably about what the Traxxas is going to be. But this thing is just, it's so long that it seems a little bigger than an 18 scale to me. Maybe it's more actually 18th and this is a little smaller, I don't know. But I just thought this thing measures up almost exactly what the new Traxxas is going to be. So I thought I would show you guys this in hand so you could kind of see it. Here's an SCX24 that I built and stretched out and widened and all that kind of stuff. And you can see not a huge difference here. A little bit on the body, wheelbase, almost the exact same here. So really your body, and that's something, you know, we can change the body. We definitely can change that. It's going to be a hard body system on the new Traxxas. It has the clipless style, which based on their video, it looks like it's super easy to take on and off. So really excited about that. It looks much easier than the FCX version. A lot of people struggle with this, but I normally just hit the back and the front comes loose for me. So I don't have that much problem with this thing. I'll just hit the backs when I can find them and boom. So I don't see where it's a huge deal, but a lot of people hate that system. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But as far as Traxxas's video, it looks like that thing is off and on pretty easily. So here is, like I said, the Gladiator is pretty large for a basically stock truck. It's not much difference. Look at that. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of difference there. Now the Traxxas is going to be wider, but my hope is that I can run the new Traxxas on my new indoor course. So we're going to take this thing for a trip around it at some point. So definitely stay tuned for that. But let's take a look at some of these new pictures and stuff and see what we can figure out about this thing. So you'll see there how easily they're taking the body off and on. If this system works that well, I will be thrilled. Looks to be much easier than the FCX version. I don't struggle with that too much, but it looks to be just a one clip system up front. You push the button, the body pops off. Beautiful looking rigs you can see right here. Lots of better pictures posted up now. Like I said, you can see there the 45-degree steering angle they're claiming that you're going to be able to maneuver this thing better than 1/24 scale vehicles, it says, with a tighter turning radius. So we will have to see. But overall, the layout of this thing looks really good. The chassis looks to be set up pretty well. Nice flat skid there you can see. Overall, the battery sits in a pretty good low spot, mid-mounted. I mean, basically as low as you can get it. It's got a huge pack, so that's important. Probably be changing that out, but you're going to have to deal with that Traxxas connector. And it looks like even the motor has that crazy connector. There's the trailer, got a good price on it, but everything else is pretty steep. The body is $55. That's crazy. I'm buying another truck. If I want a body, like, I'm not paying $55 for this body. They're out of their mind a little bit on some of these prices for the accessories, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see. Just like the servo right here, I'm not paying $45 for a stock Traxxas servo. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be great. None of their servos are really that great. The steering links, you got multiple colors of those. Same for the shocks, but the shocks, look at the price. $50. That's crazy. Hopefully they are dang good oil-filled shocks, right? Transmission, $40. I mean, that's not horrible. If you get the motor with it, it looks like there you do. And then they list some Mickey Thompson tires. Those look pretty cool, and some different wheels and stuff. And even the Canyon trail tires, those are pretty decent 1/10 scale tires, so be interested in checking those out. Now the battery has this funky plug on it. Like I said, I think the motor has that as well. So it's kind of going to be an oddball deal. I'm sure they're going to want to charge us a fortune for those connectors, just like they do their batteries. I don't do Traxxas connectors. I cut them off as soon as I get anything Traxxas. So you can see there the nice flat skid. So you can see here we got the drive shafts with CV joints and the lock rings on those. Locked axles with spools and CV joints. Definitely going to help get that turning radius they're claiming. And then we got a steel ladder frame chassis. Looks to be laid out pretty well. The motor sits up towards the front. You can see there it's almost touching the servo, so laid out pretty good. And you can see the ESC is in the back. I'm not a big fan of that, but the battery's mounted nice and low. It is an all-in-one ESC receiver. So you can see it's got the funky plugs for the motor. Comes with the TQ transmitter. Those are okay. Better than a lot of stock transmitters, but I'm not a fan. And there's the funky plug on the motor. That's going to be an issue. They're going to want to overcharge us for those connectors, I'm sure. Here we have the Metal Gear Servo. Hopefully it's stout because it's got a pretty good price on it if you go to pick one up. And there you can see the axles just look nice and clean. They don't have big, huge pumpkins on them. There's the internal of the shock. Hopefully these shocks are good for the price. And at least we're going to have color options, it seems. Hopefully these are available RTR. You know, if you pick one of these up, you can get these colors. You don't have to buy the body separate, because at the price of like $60, I'm not buying another body, right? So if I can get one of these in this color out of the gate, I'm cool with that. Overall, super excited about this thing. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit more info on it. That transmitter is just a 2-channel, so that kind of stinks. If we want to go adding anything to it, we're going to have to change that thing out. So we'll see. Cannot wait to get a hold of one of these. You guys let me know what you think. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.